Hello, this is the second quest in the Ringmaker cycle. This is the 3 trials, which, for anyone who's played it before, it's not a quest that leaves your memory anytime soon. It can be an absolute nightmare solo, because it is one of those quests that doesn't feel like it was made for one player, because of what happens towards the end, but that means that this will either be a very short or a very long video. So, just going to do the flavour text for the start of the quest, try and give you some neat visuals as we go, but there's quite a bit of it and I don't want people to have to listen to it if they don't want to. So, the 3 trials. So this follows on from the Dunland Trap, which I lost last time, but it's very thematic anyway because you get captured. So, the heroes were bound hand and foot inside a wood lodge of Dunlendings. Outside they could hear the warriors of the Boar clan celebrating their victory. When a large Dunlending entered, it was the leader of the war party that assaulted them, and the same wild man who had ordered them taken prisoner. He approached the heroes until he stood towering over them. The war chief stared intently at the heroes, holding the totemic amulet taken from their baggage. "I am Turk, chieftain of the Boar clan. Every 10 years, an amulet like this is given to a youth of great promise," he began. "The gift marks the height of his manhood and signals his worthiness to undertake the 3 trials." His eyes grew distant, and for a moment sadness washed over his stern face. Then, with a deep breath, he hardened his face and continued, "This amulet was given to my son." At that moment, an elder Dunlending man, wearing ritual boar skins and the bones of his totem animals, entered. "You would reveal our secrets to these strangers?" he asked with a sharp voice, not sure what his accent is, indicating the heroes with a sweep of his arm. "They are not boars." The chief glared at the druid. "I am the chief of this tribe. I will speak what I like." The old man fell silent and bowed his head. When the chief returned his attention to the heroes, he held up the amulet in his weathered hand and resumed his story. "Whoever succeeds at these trials will recover the antlered crown and unite our people. My son journeyed into the forest near the mountains to attempt the trials several years ago. An ice cream van is now passing outside my house. He never returned." The chief's eyes were haunted when he met the hero's gaze. "No other youths showed such promise, and none of his peers dared to take his place. To my shame, the Boar clan has no champions to undertake the trials when the moon grows full this night." Once again the old man interrupted, shaking his fist towards the chief. "These strangers wear the trappings of our enemies. We dare not trust them." The chief held up a hand to silence the wise man and kept his gaze on the heroes. "I see now that my son was slain by the orcs you encountered," he said. "It is good that Saruman sent you to deal with them." Then, scratching his beard thoughtfully, he spoke to himself. "The friendship of Isengard, in addition to the antlered crown, could force the other clans to recognize the leadership of the Boar clan." He seemed to ponder that idea for a moment. Then, turning his attention back to the heroes, he spoke to them. "You avenged my son by dealing with the orcs that killed him, and you fought well when we ambushed you. Although, in my playthrough, not very well, because we lost. I believe that my son's spirit is with you." The chief looked down at the amulet one last time before reaching forward to offer it to the heroes. "If you remain here, my people will demand your death. Instead, it is my wish that you take on the trials in my son's place and retrieve the antlered crown. If you do this, you will be spared and free to continue the wizard's errand." Before the heroes could reply, the old druid pounded his staff on the ground and shook it violently. "You cannot do this. They are not boars. They cannot undertake the trials." "Consult the bones," ordered the chief as he rose to his feet and towered over the old man. "Let the boar spirit decide." The old druid reached inside the boar skins and reluctantly brought out a small purse. He opened the pouch to let the small bones inside it spill onto the ground. Then he bent to his knees and lowered his face to inspect them closely. After a tense minute of silence, The old man grunted, and rising slowly to his feet, he spoke slowly. The strangers may undertake the trials. The bones have spoken, said the chief. It is decided then. You will undertake the trials to recover the antlered crown for the Boar clan. Success will grant you and your master our friendship. Failure will grant you death. And there's the flavour text ahead of the 3 trials. Really an example of why you should read this beforehand, because I had no idea what voice I was going to do. So, see you for the proper quest in a moment.